Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Grand Forks police are once again searching for a woman after another armed bank robbery. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. The Citizens Community Credit Union on North 42nd Street was robbed this afternoon. A Bremer Bank was also robbed by a female on Washington Street 2 weeks ago. Now, police say it's possible the two robberies are connected. Today's robber is described as possibly a Native American woman around 40 years old, 5'4" and heavy set. She was wearing dark-colored clothing and a stocking hat. Police say she entered the bank at 12:30, showed a gun, and left with cash. No customers were in the bank at the time, and nobody was injured. Police say she appeared to leave the bank on foot, but then may have gotten into a nearby getaway car.
We do know that one of the employees inside saw a vehicle, a tan-colored passenger car, leaving the area. A moment or two later. It's unknown if that vehicle is connected at all.
Police are expected to release video surveillance photos of the suspect soon. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to contact police right away. A major loss for a small town after a massive fire burned a business to the ground. Hubbard Feed Mill in Grandin, North Dakota caught fire around 10 this morning. Crews of all sorts are there, and they were battling what's left of the fire. Let's go out to Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson, who joins us live from Grandin. Nicole, what do we know now?
What started as a small fire this morning now looks like this, and the extremely strong winds made it more difficult to fight. In fact, they turned off the city water, and crews from all over the area hauled in water to help.
I got a message from my boss to go home because the town was on fire.
Longtime Grandin resident Roger Sell rushed home from work this morning after hearing homes were being evacuated.
Fiance was sleeping and my year-and-a-half-old son was sleeping nap time, and I wanted to make sure everyone was okay.
Obviously, you can see clearly behind me now that it looks as though the building's a total loss.
A hard hit for Hubbard Feeds, a long-standing mill that makes animal food.
10, 20 people working there, you know, and that's out of work for them.
And tough for those spending hours of time keeping the community safe.
We've got a busy couple days of work for them on a volunteer status.
One firefighter hurt his shoulder.
Get called all hours of the night. I mean, middle of the night, that alarm goes off, they're up and they're going. I mean, they don't think about it, they just do it.
Some of the same volunteer crews who have been battling other fires made worse from the high winds.
High winds, it's more difficult to contain. You're right, there was a lot of fire calls this past week, and not just in our area. With the outlying area.
They work a lot. I mean, they work their full-time jobs, take care of their kids, then they come and do stuff like this for the community. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
We still don't know the cause of the fire, but lack of water and strong winds are taking some of the blame for how bad this damage is. Reporting in Grandin, North Dakota, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Thank you, Nicole. Fire crews are expected to stay throughout the night to keep the area under control. And speaking of those winds, it's incredibly windy out there. And that caused a building under construction to fall today. Parts of a building near the Flying J truck stop fell apart before 1:30 this afternoon. Winds have been over 50 miles an hour in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Will we get a break from all this blustery weather tonight? Let's check in with Hutch Johnson for a first look. Hutch?
Well, the good news is a lot of the wind warnings are expiring and being replaced in some spots with some wind advisories. But what we do have, very strong winds, almost 70-mile-per-hour winds today in Langdon, and near 50 to 55-mile-per-hour winds today across Lakes Country in Minnesota. Here's a look at the wind speeds currently, still gusting to around 40 miles per hour, so it's still strong. In other words, it's going to stay gusty, just not as strong as it was earlier in the day today. Take a look at this. You probably noticed just a little bit of a cool down. 47 degrees colder this hour in Bemidji than it was yesterday at this time. It's going to be a cool evening. It's going to remain breezy. The radar is at least quiet with temperatures in the 40s for most of the evening. The wind really doesn't taper off, Stephanie, until we get past sunset. I'll have hour-by-hour details on your forecast on what's ahead, but it does look like the wind takes a vacation. I'll tell you what you have to look forward to in a moment.
Because yesterday felt like a vacation, and all of a sudden today, totally different.
Yeah, it felt like we were on a different continent and a different latitude, that's for sure.
It did. All right, thanks, Hutch. Clay County prosecutors say the owner of a home daycare in Moorhead was drunk while she was supposed to be watching 7 young children, and now her license is suspended. 34-year-old Holly Heiser is charged with 7 counts of neglect or endangerment of a child. The assistant Clay County attorney says an alert parent notified police about Heiser on September 11th. Court documents say Heiser told police she started drinking vodka about 2 hours before they arrived. Heiser's blood alcohol level was more than 0.27, and that's more than double the legal limit. A man's been charged in connection with the death of a 3-year-old boy. 23-year-old Sterling Anderson has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder for the death of Stephen Warren. Warren died at Sanford last week after deputies responded to a report of a child who'd bumped his head. Autopsy results show head and extensive abdominal trauma. The Ramsey County medical examiner says that Warren's death was due to his injuries and is calling his death a homicide. Anderson admitted to striking the child because he would not stop crying. Anderson's next court appearance is scheduled October 19th. Today marks the kickoff of UND's 20th annual week-long clothesline project. Now, it's a very eye-opening reminder of the ongoing problem of sexual assault and domestic violence in our region. T-shirts strung on clotheslines were made by the victims and the families of victims of sexual assault and domestic violence from across North Dakota. The T-shirts have the messages of people who have survived.
CVIC alone had over close to 2,800 clients this past year in 2014.
And that's just in Grand Forks?
That's just in Grand Forks County and this area, yes.
Now, we have a full schedule of this week's events, including a Take Back the Night march and rally online. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Well, if you have a problem and you think that it's something the city of Fargo should be taking care of, grab your phone and get the city's new app. It's called Fargo One, and it's up and running right now. Here's how it works. If there's a nuisance in the neighborhood, fire up the app, click on the category, answer the questions, and hit submit, and you'll be able to track the progress resolving the issue.
I think what it's going to do is encourage more people to reach out to the city because it's going to be easier for them. Sometimes residents will have to go online and find the department phone number they're looking for or find the email address, and it's not always that easy, but this mobile app will make it easy to get in touch with any of the departments.
Carlson emphasizes this app is not for emergencies. It's free, though, for both Android and iOS devices. If you'd like to download the app, head to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button. It's expected Fargo will officially have a new police chief tonight. City commissioners are expected to approve the hiring of David Todd, who was selected by the police chief hiring committee on Friday. Todd has been serving as the interim chief for nearly a year after Keith Turnest stepped down from the position. Todd says his key concerns going forward are street crimes and drugs. One of the world's hottest pop stars is swinging through Fargo tonight. Taylor Swift brings her 1989 world tour to the Fargo Dome. Her crew's been setting up big time since after the Bison game, and check this out. Those are 26 semis up at the Fargo Dome parking lot last night just for her show. The show starts at 7:30 tonight, and you can expect heavy traffic around the dome before and after the concert, so keep that in mind. Coughing, chills, fatigue, those are all signs of the flu, but luckily there are ways to protect yourself from getting sick other than washing your hands and getting plenty of rest. The flu shot's also now available. Valley News Team's Christy Larson tells us the importance of the flu vaccine for all ages.
Just relax, take a deep breath.
People who are at highest risk are the kids, pregnant women, elderly, and people who have other chronic diseases like diabetes, chronic lung disease, heart disease. Definitely all those people should have priority for getting the vaccines. But the CDC recommends that everyone greater than 6 months of age should get the vaccine.
It's important for all caregivers to get their vaccinations, but especially caregivers of young children or babies, because those babies can't get their vaccines. So the best way to protect them is for their caregivers, parents, daycare providers, to get vaccinated.
If you put off getting the shot and you do get the flu, doctors still recommend getting the vaccine.
If someone's had the influenza infection, I would still recommend getting the vaccine. And the reason is there are many different strains of the flu virus circulating within the community, and the vaccine can protect you against 3 or 4 of the strains that are circulating within the community. So if you had the flu, there's still a small chance that you can still get another infection in the same season.
So if you are coming into the pediatric clinic, it is important to call and make a nurse-only visit. If you're over 18, you can go to most clinics and walk in and get a flu vaccine.
People who get the vaccine have been shown to have decreased illnesses and hospital stays, even if they do get the infection. So I think everyone in the community should get the flu vaccine. Anyone older than 6 months should get it.
Now, for more information on how to get a flu shot appointment, go to valleynewslive.com and look for this story under the Healthier Me tab. Still ahead for us tonight, why millions of Social Security recipients won't see an increase in benefits this year.
Sunday, we had a near triple-digit heat across the valley with winds gusting to 70 miles per hour. They have brought change. All details on what you can expect the rest of our work week next.